My name is Louis. This is the Fwrd Thinking podcast, and today I'm joined by Carl. Hello, Carl.
How you doing? You right?
Good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, good.
So I first was made aware of Carl within the last sort of month or so, and took a look through his posts and his stories, and I think he's got a really important story to tell to people getting into construction. So I asked him to come on the show today. So here we are.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem at all, mate. So, yeah, I've got the training program that I've been telling you about, and that training program is massively linked to encouraging young people to get into construction.
Yeah.
Not just from a business sense of construction, but a whole lifestyle as well. I feel like I wasted a lot of time growing up in construction and being a bit of a party boy and not having your head screwed on, not just in business, but like I say, with your health and all types of things. So I think it's good that we give these young people the chance to learn from people like us that have been there and done that and made many mistakes. So when I saw your social media, I thought that your story's a good one. Yeah. And quite important that you tell that to young people. I think it's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you could just tell us a bit about your adult working life and how you came to have the company you got now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't start plumbing until I was 35. I started quite late. I'm 41 now. And prior to that, I was just sort of farted around sort of thing, do you know what I mean? And then I got into plumbing. I worked for free for 5 months. I was doing a gas safe course. So I started the gas safe and then they changed the criteria. So I had to get a plumbing company to work with, but I had no experience. Before that I was doing van driving work, so I had no experience. So I worked for free for 5 months just to get my foot in the door. And then after 5 months, they started paying me a little bit of money. And then I passed my gas and then I started getting a bit more. And then what I've done, I sort of bought I've been doing the social media stuff for years anyway, sort of family stuff and things like that. And then I bought my sort of the social media with the plumbing together, started doing like my day in the lives and things like that. And then that really took off and it's helped to grow my business, helped to grow my brand. So
yeah, I bet. So what first made you choose plumbing or gas?
I mean, I didn't actually... So I had one of my friends and he was like, I'll make $1,000 a week. It's easy. Go and do this course. It's easy. So I thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. But at the time I couldn't really read and write. And I thought, no, I've got to do something. Because like I said, I was doing van delivery driving. You're never going to earn more money than what they want to pay you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought I need something where I could work for myself. So I started this course because I thought it was easy. And then I didn't mean to get into plumbing. I was just meant to do the gas, so I could do gas certs, which my mate was doing. And eventually, they changed the criteria. So they said, look, you've got to go and work with a plumbing company. So I had to find a company to work for, and then sort of went on from there, to be honest.
Oh, good. So when you said you started working for someone for nothing, 5 months that was... I bet that was quite hard. I'm
still paying it back now, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. I had to get loans. I had to lend money off friends and family, and that's why me personally, I'd always advise anyone, if you're young and you're in college, go and get that free education, because as you get older and then you've got bills, you've got your kids, you've got your family. I'm not going to say it's almost impossible, but it's really hard.
You've got responsibilities then.
Exactly, and if you've already got your bills you've got to pay, and you're trying to work for free, which it's difficult. It is.
So the people that you were working for, they were good. They trained you well.
Yeah, no, the guy I worked, Paul, he was he was tough. Yeah, but away from work, got in like house on fire. When we was in work, he was on my case. But again, I feel like that was. I had a good education with him. He taught me really well, and it was hard, but it was all worth it.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of going from being a delivery driver to a plumber, how long do you think it took you to actually get your head around what you're trying to achieve?
Mate, to be fair, I think for the first, because I wasn't in college or nothing, I didn't go to college for plumbing, I went to college for gas. I'd never done any DIY. I think it took me about, the first year was the hardest. The first year, I think for the first 3 months, he wouldn't even let me touch at all. So I'd sort of just be there, standing there, watching him boring the whole day, just standing there. I was just like, am I going to stick to this? But I feel like my back was against the wall at that point. I'm 35 years old, I've got a family. Yeah, I was going to say, trying to change my life.
Did it hurt your pride a little bit when you...
No, you know what? already had the goal, I already had the vision. From when I first got that job, I already said to myself, I'm going to work for myself at some point. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it so I can have my own company and work for myself. And I've just sort of, even from then, I sort of started a journey of, like we were speaking earlier, I've sort of, my whole life, I sort of played football and I've done a lot of hustling. That's what I was about. That's what I've done. And I had to change that around. So there wasn't any sort of, there weren't any pride in the way at that point, because it's like, am I ever going to do this or I'm not? Am I ever going to continue doing the stuff I'm doing and possibly end up in, the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
And I've got kids in the family, or I've just got to do this and stick to it. And when I first started, I sort of like, I would never have known money, never had to piss in. And I had to sell all the clothes I had to sell everything I had just to have a bit of money, just to sort of pay bills. Obviously that ran out quite quick because I'm 5 months no money. And so I started getting a few loans out and things like that. But it's all worked out now because obviously, like you said, I've got my company earning decent dough, so that can all be paid back now. So.
I think, in my opinion, when you look at some of the young kids now, there's like a certain sense of entitlement almost, and starting at the bottom and doing work for free and being bossed around by someone.
It's almost impossible. The thing is, I've got my son working with me at the minute.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dad, how much are you going to pay me? I said, I don't actually need you to come. Like, you don't have to come. What do you mean? I want some money. I said, you don't have to be here. Like, I don't actually need you to be here.
Yeah.
All right, start me on 40 quid a day. I said, look, I worked for free for 5 months. I'm not going to give you 40 quid.
Yeah.
All right, 30. I'm not giving you 30. Anyway, we've negotiated £20.
Cool, that's cool.
So I've got everyone £20 a day. But like you said, the entitlement, I feel like, like I said to him, I feel like the younger generation, the ones that do want to put in the work and work hard, it's going to be easy because there's not enough of them. They are entitled. They are literally entitled.
Yeah, so. Actually, funny enough, the first, when I was about 16, the first thing I did was plumbing.
Yeah.
And I did it for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the guy wouldn't pay me, and I had enough. So I admire you. I admire you sticking out.
I feel like at that age, you don't get it. It's like an adult will say to you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Like, I could say to my boy, till I'm blue in the face, do plumbing because I know what you could earn. If you've done this till you was 21, you could be nicking decent dough, but you still won't listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when you was training then, did you make any big fuck ups, any big mistakes?
Loads.
Yeah.
Used to, honestly,
What's the biggest leak you caused there?
The biggest, I don't know if I caused any, well, yeah, of course I have, but I think we were doing like a first fix at a property. And actually. So we was working at Bromley Football Club. We was doing, they made this massive new stadium, and obviously we were doing all the heating and plumbing. And there was like, so I'd done quite a lot of the pipe work and things like that. So I'd done a lot of soldering and stuff like that. For some reason, we didn't test the work. So all the boards have gone up. Everything was done. Everything was finished.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've tested after. Floods everywhere, but I wasn't there. But the guy who took me pool come to me and was like, they're not happy with you, boy. And I was like, oh. And then after that, because the thing is, we used to get Saturdays there, because it's like on site, you work Monday to Friday, you do Saturday half a day, you get a full day's money.
Yeah.
No more Saturdays. They dropped me out.
Did they?
After that, they gave me no more Saturdays, man. So,
but it's, it's all learning, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's it. I'm to be honest, because where I've started and where I've come from, I'm not afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
If it's a mistake, if it's got to be made, I feel like you learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then more for you.
I think as well, going back to the young people as well, I think there's almost like they're scared to ask if you don't know something.
Yeah.
Like, I was always told, like, if you don't know it, don't try and make out you know it. Just ask.
No, I was like that even as an adult. So I would, like, for example, like I can't remember stuff from. You know what I mean? So my guy Paul would be like, go to the van, get this. You know, it's like I was obviously an apprentice, go to the van, get this. And I already knew that I don't know what you're talking about. So but because I've asked so many times, I don't want to be like, what's that again? Like, so I'd go to the van, he might send me to get like 5 or 6 things. I'll walk to the van and then I'd come back and he'd be like, he'd look at it and he'd be like get angry, oh, go on, get in there, what's the point of you being here? How am I going to get them to pay you money if you don't remember anything? And I'd be like, but I stuck to it, so it was all good.
Yeah, I suppose a bit of tough love works as
well. Yeah, no, 100%.
It
was tough love and I'm so grateful for him. I'm definitely so grateful to him. So
what would you say the biggest problem's been for you like sort of transitioning from not being in construction to being in construction is, and in terms of building your business, obviously you've done really well with the social media stuff, which has probably helped massively, right?
To be honest, I'm still not great with business, if I'm honest. It's something I'm learning, tax and things like these sorts of things. But apart from that, there's not. I mean, it's just a learning, really. It's just doing it and sticking to it, and that's consistency is the main thing. If you do something consistently, like I've been doing it now for just over 6 years, and I've just had to stay consistent. Yeah, I could have fallen off a few times, but I thought, no, I've got to stick to this. So yeah, it's just the consistency, really.
I think that going back on what you said about the accounting and tax, you don't get taught that stuff there.
None of that, and that's the thing. Like I'm still struggling with a lot of sort of business stuff now. I'm doing like the social media stuff. I've always done the plumbing. I've learnt along the way, but business is something now that I've sort of like even like. My organisation never been great. It's something I'm learning as well. That's probably one of my main things is being organised.
Yeah. You do there's a lot of like AI and CRM type systems now.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of them are like construction based as well now.
Honestly, the AI world is crazy. And I have learnt some good stuff on there, so it is helping.
Yeah. So with your social media stuff, do you find you get a lot of people approaching you to talk about plumbing, or
I mean, a lot of people I meet are, I'm a plumber as well. Wow, I love you, But I think my social media is a mixture of different things. But a lot of people say, I want to get into plumbing. Like, what do I do? Sorry, I want to get into plumbing. What do I do? And that's another thing as well. Like, I honestly don't know where to direct them. I don't know where to direct them. Like, I've looked online because again, people message me all the time. Like, I want to get into construction. I want to get into plumbing. Yeah. They don't know where to turn. If they haven't sort of come through college, then they don't know what to. Or there's these courses, and I ain't got the money. It's like $8,000. I ain't got the money to pay for it. Like, what? I literally don't know where to direct them.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the problem as well. Like on social media, you don't see that much or that much content. Sort of telling people what to do, you don't see it. It might prefer if you want to be an influencer, do this. If you want to work in tech or Bitcoin or whatever you want to do, be a trader, do this. But if it's for
the construction, there's not much. That's what I mean. Like I said, I get asked all the time, how do I get into plumbing?
Yeah, and I think ultimately that's what my program's about. Is trying to
get people into it,
give them some direction.
It's definitely needed. It is definitely needed. It's important because.
And I think it's quite important as well. You'd probably, like, if you had your time again, you'd probably do it as well. But like doing an apprenticeship when you're young, so like some people go to college full time and come out and they've got no experience. But if you can do an apprenticeship like 1 day a week at college
and then go and do
4 days on the job, then
nice. I mean, if I had the opportunity again, I would definitely started younger. I would have definitely done an apprenticeship younger. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what's your next steps then? And
I just want to continue to build my brand, build the company, get more work, eventually get more work, have people working for me. Just keep building, really.
Do you think, we were talking about Pimlico Plumbers earlier on, do you see yourself having something like that?
I mean, if he done it, I can. And that's my honest opinion. I mean, people probably watch this and think, you've only got one van, you're a one-man band, there's no way that can happen. But for me, because of like, I'm sort of on a journey. I'm sort of on a personal journey of self-development, and it's sort of all goes hand in hand with what I'm doing. Like the belief I have in myself, for the fact that I've started off, I didn't even know what way to hold the grips. I used to hold the grips the wrong way around. My boss would be like, you can't even hold the grips, what you do? Yeah. So from being that to now, even like, for example, like when I first I was working on site for ages. I was working on site. I didn't like site work, to be honest. I was like, I need to work for myself. And I started off in the Vauxhall Severa car, battered, absolutely battered. And now I've got myself a nice van. So my self-belief is like, I can do anything.
Yeah, of course you can,
I genuinely think that as well. So
I think sometimes you kind of tell yourself you've got to do it. So when you're trying to build a business, obviously there's many different facets to that business. And I think when you're first starting out, you kind of tell yourself you've got to do it all.
You've got to have everything. And that's the thing, like, again, like going back to me having a car instead of a van, there was a time when I was on site and I thought, I need, when I get my van, I'll do it, or when I get more tools, I'll do it, or you just got to go and do it. Yeah. There's never a right time. There never, ever will be a right time. If when you want to do it, you just got to go and do it, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So, like, on a day-to-day basis then, what do you enjoy, like, most about, like, obviously you
Getting paid.
Getting paid, obviously, yeah. But I always think, because I've got a construction company, and I can be on a project for anywhere between sort of 6 and 12 months.
Yeah.
And by the end of that job, I'm drained. Like, I'm drained. Like, the job's like, I start to resent the job a little bit. When it's finished and I see the final product, it's nice. But I always think, if you're going from job to job quite quickly, you get to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people, and I think I quite like that.
I prefer jobbing. Like, I've got like. I've got friends that sometimes they might do like full heating systems or things like that, or they're on a job for a week or 2 weeks. Me personally, that job, I'm there, I'm in, I'm out. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy that a lot more than being on jobs for longer, for sure.
And how do you find, like, talking to customers? You're good.
Yeah,
obviously you're quite a confident guy, right?
Yeah, you know what it is? I think it's for me, whoever I meet, just in general, whether it's going in someone's house or just meeting someone on the street, I want to leave a good impression. So when I go into people's house, I'm polite. I'll have a bit of banter if I can, if they're that sort of person. So yeah, nice. It's I mean, I'm always I'll go in there and I'll talk to them and have a bit of banter or whatever. So,
but even when it gets a little bit, like, say for instance, you priced a job at X amount, and then something happens and you didn't realise, and you've got to go back to them and say, look, it's going to be more money.
Honestly, that is one of my things I hate the most, because the thing is, well, I'm one of them people. I don't even. It's so weird, because, say for example, I might go in a block toilet, for example. If someone says they've got a block toilet, I know I'm in the night in 30 seconds. Like, I already know that. Sometimes when I go in there and I do a job like that, I feel uncomfortable to even say, look, this is my call-out charge, because I've been in there so quick. But then I've got to remember, it's not just this minute that I'm going to come in and do this now. It's been the last 5-6 years of training and learning. So I've always got to bear that in mind. But
well, that's it. Yeah, people don't pay for your time. It's your value, right?
That's it. But I'm only learning that a bit now. And again, like, for example, there have been jobs where it has gone wrong and I should charge a bit more, but I feel a bit bad because I've already given them a price, but I can't not charge a bit more. But it's quite difficult.
I think there's something we all battle with, isn't it? You got it's business. You got to be a little bit ruthless sometimes.
No, it is. I know mates that just they don't care. I do. The thing is, that's the thing with me. I think, oh man, I don't want to.
Yeah. I've been on jobs before, so obviously we do all the packages, so from groundworks right through to the finishes, and you can get a client that might understand a little bit about a certain trade, so they might be plumbing or
and they think they can.
They think so. There was one time and there were some wardrobes that right at the end of the project they wanted some bespoke wardrobes done, and I gave them the price, and he went away and he came back to me and said he's broken it down because I think it's going to take about 10 days. And so based on that, your price is working out at £600 a day for a carpenter. I said, you're not paying for their time. You're not. You're paying for their expertise. And they're not just carpenters, they're joiners. They're building wardrobes. And so that's quite frustrating sometimes when people try and break it down into...
It is hard when you give someone a price and they want to barter with the price and they want to argue and things like that. But again, it's just like, you wouldn't go into like a supermarket and say, look, that's the price of the pasta. Like, can I get a bit cheaper? Exactly, you're not going to do that. So I don't know why people do it. I think people do it with tradesmen because they think they, excuse me, I think they can. Do you know what I mean? So, but you've got to stand your ground.
Yeah, definitely. So before your plumbing started, your plumbing company, what was your life at that time?
So I've from a young age, I was a good footballer. I was a decent footballer, which I'd done from a kid, and I played up to I was in my early 30s.
What level did you get to?
Conference, with the old conference, which maybe now I think might be something.
Isthmian or something like that?
It's the top level of non-league, basically. So
semi-pro then.
Yeah. Semi-pro. Decent. I've got paid decent money throughout the years. But I also hustled, but I started that as a kid, you know, not because of pressure. I think it was just more like...
Where did you grow up? I
grew up in Battersea.
Okay.
So it was just more like what we sort of saw and done as kids, family members and things like that. I was never like a naughty, bad person or bad kid, but it was just part of how we grew up, to be honest. I'd done that for my whole life, more or less, until I got to 35. Then again, like I was saying earlier, I had to change that around.
How do you think? Obviously, you said earlier that you would have changed it sooner if you could have, or if you had the knowledge to. But so, what advice could you give kids to stop them getting into that lifestyle?
It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. I've done a post on it before. It's like, I'll give you an example. Yeah, say for example, if I came out of school at 16 and started to, if I came out of school at 16 and went straight into plumbing, by 30, I believe I would have had a big, massive plumbing company. Yeah, I'm not upset about it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Instead, I came out of school. If you come out of school at like 16, you want to start hustling. Mm-hmm. By the time you're 30, you probably would have gone jail, been arrested. You've got no qualifications, you've got nothing. And by that time, you start getting to 30, you start thinking, what do I do with my life? You ain't really got much options. You've got a family, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, you end up getting a job, and I don't want to sound disrespectful, but you're going to get a job that everyone out there is trying to get. Do you know what I mean? So honestly, for anyone listening to this or watching this, just forget it. Like honestly, start from young, get into a career from a young age. Even, again, like yourself, you obviously was a bit of a party boy, but you still had the construction side of things from a young age. You know what I mean? So that was always going to, at some point, it's going to be, you're going to have to use that.
That's
you know
it. I kind of look at like my mates, where I grew up in Thornton Heath near Croydon, and everyone sort of had a trade or done something professional, but we were so obsessed with going out and getting off our faces every weekend for like the whole of our 20s, and probably like all of my mates now, they're starting to do well now. Yeah. We're all like near 40. Yeah. They're starting to do well now, and I kind of think...
But the thing is, you've all got that though. Yeah. The thing is, again, like the difference probably between me and you, I always partied, as well. But I didn't have anything. I didn't have like a trade or anything like that. So I had to start late. Like with yourself, you obviously... Although, like, look, we're not all going to start from young and grow business from a young age. You're still going to go through the stuff you're going to go through. But if you got that, as long as you got that trade, you're always going to be all right. Even if sometimes you might go into other things, once you got that, that's it, that's cemented, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, honestly, my advice to any young lad, go and get yourself a trade and go and learn something. Yeah,
especially nowadays as well. Something I've mentioned to you before, like average age of a construction worker was... Well, it's like 50 now. Yeah. It used to be 30. Yeah. So young kids just aren't going into construction.
It's a shame, to be honest, because it's something that you always need a plumber, you always need an electrician. Like there's endless work out there. Yeah. That's the thing. I
think that's like, for me, it's really, that's why we got to make a difference with this program as well, and to show young people that they can make money in construction. Mate, especially right now, there's going to be a massive shortage. There's already a shortage. It's just going to get worse.
The thing is, I'll be honest, like I know you got like the jobs that you sort of go to university for, like the doctors, the things like that. I know people that are one-man bands and they're out there and they're earning $100,000 a year. And that's not even me just trying to, that's not a lie. That is genuine. Like I'm not at that level yet. But it's I'm not gonna say it's easily done, but if you're one, like I said, if you're one of the young ones who are willing to put the work in, then you are definitely gonna do well, and you're definitely gonna earn some money.
Yeah, and like we were saying, there's more to it than just the business side of it, like it's your lifestyle, and
100%.
So it's the people that you're knocking around with. Yeah. It's what knowledge do you have in terms of like marketing, personal branding? Yeah,
all them things, and that you do that on the program, right? Yeah. See, all of them things are, if you understand a bit of it all, like you learn a bit of plumbing, you learn a bit of marketing, you learn a bit of business, which obviously you do on the course. When you got all them things all together, honestly, there's no end for you.
Yeah, because I didn't really realise that when. You do now. When I look back, I realise, but at the time, so you went out all weekend, like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and so you didn't really realise that by Wednesday you still weren't thinking right.
No. You didn't think it takes a whole week to get your system really. So you're not really in your right mindset the whole time, because you're just sort of going around in circles. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I know that culture's kind of like dying down a little bit. There's less of that now, but there's other things consuming kids' minds, right? Yeah. So like. Games consoles and social media, and like social media can be really, really effective for business, but most people probably they're not using it right, are they? 100%. And that's only something I've learned recently as well. I was not using it right,
flicking through, scrolling,
and it just consumes your mind and with bullshit basically. But if you actually focus down on what you want from social media, it's really effective.
It is, of course it is. You can learn anything. We're in an era of information. There's nothing you can't learn. Like, even for myself, there's times when I might be at a job and I'm thinking, right, what do I do here? I jump on YouTube and I YouTube it. Like, you know, whatever the job is I'm doing,
Yeah.
put it in YouTube, see someone else doing it, and then I can do it myself. Do you know what I mean?
I remember once I was when I was a QS, I'd done a lot of like refurbishment works, lots of social housing stuff. And then I went to go, shortly after, I went to go and work for a new build company. And I walked in there, it's like the first week I was there, and the director said to me, we've got this big project in Bromley, and we've got to underpin this block of flats. I don't even know what underpinning is. I don't know what underpinning is. Like, in theory, I understand what it is. But I've been so long in the refurbishment and renovation side of construction that the new build element and sort of groundworks and civils, I hadn't really done that. Yeah. So I went straight to YouTube and I was like,
honestly, it's all there. All the information's there. It's all there, man.
So the training program, basically all the areas that we're going to be covering on the program is pretty much come from me thinking back at what I could have done better, basically. So every speaker that's on there either covers an area where I had a bad experience, or their story is really inspiring. And that's pretty much how I've tried to structure it. So one of the guys coming on, his name's Joe, and he's called the Tradesman's Coach. Mm-hmm. So he concentrates heavily on helping tradesmen get into shape, basically, because obviously you know the stereotype, typical white van man, big beer belly.
The thing is, though, it's like that because it's almost, I'm not going to say it's part of the, when I was driving the van, I know I wasn't a tradesman at the time, but I feel like the driving around in the van thing is just so easy to run in the shop, grab a packet of crisps, grab a fizzy drink. Next thing you know, the fitness is...
Or the worst thing is when you don't eat at all and then you're so hungry, you just eat anything.
Start loading up with nonsense. So
what do you do to look after yourself then?
I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym now. I've always sort of been into fitness anyway through the football and stuff like that. But I'm in the gym most days. It's definitely important. I think it's a lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? It's getting up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Do you find it hard to fit it in?
I get up at 4.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I get up at 4 in the morning. I do a bit of content. Go to the gym for about 5:30, 6. I've got to get, if I don't do it in the morning, then I probably won't go. And I feel like you got to get the most important things done as early as possible. If I go and do a day's work, I might get stuck on a job and then say, I can't go to the gym. So now I'm in there. Gym's important for me. To be honest.
So if you do miss a day, what's it do to your mind?
It's not the end of the world. It's when you start missing a week, 2 weeks, and then you start saying to yourself, if I get back in, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Yeah. So generally, I might just do some press-ups or something like that just to keep me ticking over. But no, it's, I'm a gym person.
You think it helps your mind?
It does. Just generally, of course it does. I think whatever you're doing in life, the gym's important, in my opinion.
Yeah, cool. Another guy we've got talking, his name is Terry Lake. Mm-hmm. He's someone that I worked with in the past. He's got a hugely successful roofing business now, and his story is quite inspiring as well. He's born on a council estate in Basildon. Struggled a lot of his childhood with like having a poor family, and sort of rose his way up. Started a small roofing contracting company when he was in his early 20s, I think it was, and he's now probably about the same age as me, but his business turns over 20 million a year. He came in for a podcast recently, turned up in his Lambo outside. So his story's great, and he's like, he's just a normal guy. Yeah, he's just a normal guy, and it's just.
Is he still down to earth and just cool? That's nice.
He really is down to earth, and he actually finds it like I was trying to push him to before the podcast, I was saying to him that we're going to have to ask you some questions about your success, and he's like, I don't like talking about it. And I was like, well, you've got to.
Super humble.
You've got to. So his story's going to be great to hear as well. And I was thinking this the other day, like some people, or all of the people talking, like. Although I'm hosting this program, I'm going to be learning as well. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And I'm quite looking forward to seeing what they've all got to say.
Definitely.
And I'll take things from it as well, definitely. Who else have we got? We've got Alfred. Alfred, I met in Dubai last year. Dizadzi, do you know him? He's quite big on social media as well. Alfred Dizadzi. He's
what do you do?
Well, he started off. I think he worked for Jaguars in the cars.
Okay.
And then about 5 years ago, he decided that he was going to do property.
Yeah.
And his story is that I think he borrowed, he had some of his own money, and he borrowed some money, and he spent £25,000 on a mastermind course. And he said it literally emptied out his bank. He had nothing. And everyone, this job he was on he was earning 50 or 60 grand a year, and everyone was telling him that he was mad for doing it. But now he's built a property empire, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, so he was one of the hosts of the property mastermind I went on in Dubai last year. So again, super humble guy, like down to earth.
You've got a lot of good people in the program, and for sure, a lot of people that are gonna, I think, inspire. People that are going to be on it. So that's
it. And like Tyler, who we were talking about earlier on, he's going to be there as well. He's got a company called Luxury Property Partners. They do, obviously, they sell luxury properties for high net worth people. And he's got his own development company as well. And again, he was in Dubai with me last year. I think he's 27 or 28 years old. He's absolutely killing it. And so he's coming to be on the program as well, and I've asked him to bring his Lambo and park right outside when he does as well. That's two people with Lambos actually on the program.
We did wrong.
Yes, there's a guy also called Jamie Matthews that's coming on. We were talking about him earlier on. He's the guy that's got the maintenance company. He's got a property development company as well, but maintenance brings in a lot of money.
Yeah,
and he's not got a construction background. He's just set this business up and generated or built relationships with letting agents or anyone that requires councils or local authorities, anyone that needs regular maintenance on their properties. He just gets in front of them and puts himself out there. Oh. And he's like I was saying, I think the figures were every van generates 12,000 revenue per month at £4,000 cost. So he makes £8,000 profit on per van, and he's got, I don't know, dozens and dozens out there.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. I think the network's important, though.
Massively.
Not who you know, but networking with people and understanding, where people can put you and how people can help you and how you can help other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think I ever really appreciated that. Like
the networking side. No,
I didn't.
No, same.
I didn't. When you like where I grew up, and we were such like a close group of mates, and there was no outsiders were allowed in, and it was like we thought.
You don't do it together,
we do it together, just us, and obviously it's not like that. No. It's not like that, and obviously with your network, well, there's that saying: if you hang around with 5 idiots, you'll be the 6th, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so you've got to put yourself around people that maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable talking to them.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, even for me personally, like before I sort of started having the normal life, I used to hear people saying, I'm out networking, and I used to think, what's that? What do you mean you're networking? What's what nonsense is that? But now as I'm sort of like getting into business and learning business, I am understanding that you've got to be out there, you've got to be in places where you're meeting people that have already done it and finding out how they've done it and stuff like that. So I feel like with your program that you got, the sort of people that you got involved, I mean, anyone who fortunate enough to come to the program or do the program are gonna have massive benefits from that. So
what I've started doing as well, because sometimes you meet new people and then it might lead to work, but you forgot that the reason that it led to work was because you put yourself out and went and met someone.
Yeah.
So I've got to track it now. So any projects I get in or sort of opportunity we're looking at, I think, how did that happen? Does it happen because I went to that person and that person and that person? Good, so I track it and then think, and then it's almost evidence that networking works, right?
And you know what? There's so many times that I've sort of gone on jobs or I've done jobs and I've just sort of like, I can't even remember where I got it from or who's helped me or who's doing that. So that's definitely that's something I've learned today that I'll be definitely taking away and taking on board. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, okay, and then and obviously you'll be there speaking as well.
Yeah, hopefully. No.
Yeah,
not going to come now. No, I'll be there. Definitely. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. To be fair,
it'll be good. Like I said, I think the boys will benefit greatly from your story. Yeah, and like I said, at the same time, we can learn a bit as well.
So for the people that you got there, like I'm even more looking forward to it now because I'll be getting in their ears and trying to get some numbers and things like that and see what we can do. So networking, that's it. You know what I mean? So
Carl, thanks for coming.
No, thanks for having me, man.
No problem at all. It's been a good chat, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to getting you on the programme.
I'm looking forward to it as
and
well.
I'll be in touch over the next couple of weeks to give you a date.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.
Thank you so
mate.
much. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Mate.